NAT, you look so different to me today. You're up 14%, you're actually in the green, and in the past 5 days on the week, you're actually above 10%. Will you be my Valentine's? Anyways, welcome back to another oil tanker update on the week, everyone. My name's Adam, and please be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already before we get into this. And of course, we're going to be going over NAT and the oil tanker market. Everyone, happy Valentine's Day. Okay, and I officially said that NAT is definitely my Valentine's as of right now. Okay, it's up 14% on Friday. We're going to go over this move. We're going to compare this move to other oil tankers. And we're going to end off on, of course, the projection for the tanker market. Before we get into it, I just want to say, investing in these tankers is a pretty risky business. Okay, if we go over to my portfolio, right now this is just my U.S. stocks that I hold. Although I do have some U.S. stocks in my Canadian portfolio, we can see literally the only guy that's in the red is NAT. Despite the 14% move, we're still down 35%, down 710 US dollars. Literally every other stock is in the green. Okay, we have one home run stock right here. This is CCIV. We have Slack. We're up $700 on that. We have, of course, Walgreens, Berkshire Hathaway, Dropbox, etc. So, we're up in the green on every single position except down 35% on NAT. Okay, so of course that hurts. And I mean, it's not 35, down 35%, because I have received dividends. I've received like 3 or 4 dividends, so we're down maybe like $500, but still by quite a bit. Okay, so again, this just shows you the risk of owning stocks. Okay, you could have a good portfolio, but you could have one loser that drags you down by quite a bit, as we can see here. Okay, of course, I'm not going to be selling my shares after this move, although I do think there will be a pullback. Okay, I think recently, if we compare to Frontline 2, we can see there is close to an 8% move there, and EURN, where there's close to a 6% move. However, DHT was actually down on the week by about 2%. Okay, I'm not sure if they reported earnings or not. Let me know why DHT stock is down. Okay, I think the large reason why there's an increase in these NAT, EURN, and Frontline stock prices is because of the price of crude. Here we're looking at the 1-year chart, and we can see that it's at its peak right here at close to $60 a barrel. We can see, of course, in April when the futures contracts actually got negative, as we can see this little dip here. Okay, so that was a bad time for oil prices, but it was actually a pretty good time for oil tankers. Okay, because there was a large amount of floating storage. But this is different because this increase in oil price, the main driving factor here is, of course, we know that the Saudis and OPEC countries, they cut production. So it's not that demand is increased, it's actually that supply is decreased, fueling the increase in the oil barrel price. Okay, so we can't mistake this price here with an increase in demand, okay, because that is going to be slower to come. The world is still very much in lockdown. It'll take some time before the full effects of the vaccine will be able to be felt, and there will be an increase in demand and a lag in supply. Okay, so that'll be a really good time for oil and potentially oil tankers. Okay, so I think a lot of people are misattributing this increase in oil to actually mean that there's increased demand for oil. I just think it's because everyone's cutting production, including the OPEC countries, and now they're having more of like a monopolistic role in the oil market because, of course, a bunch of oil rigs have been shutting down in the States and even in Canada, so they don't have as much oil dominance anymore. So pretty much OPEC countries can control what the price of crude is now because they're the main exporters of oil. Okay, so but I do think this increase in oil generally tends to correspond to an increase in NAT, Frontline, and EURN, and DHT as well. And I think that's why, as of late, NAT used to be like below $3, and now it's $3.70. Okay, so of course I'm not going to be selling yet. I'm going to wait for this guy to at least get to around like $5, if it ever gets to $5. But I will be collecting dividends up until then, and we also do have their earnings coming up soon. So I just want to take a look at the chart, for example, and take a look at this is the candlestick chart, the 1-year candlestick chart, back when NAT was like had a high of like $9. Which was, pretty crazy times. I bought in when it was around $5.50, and man, I wish I would have sold at $9. But anyways, We can see, of course, the MACD in the black went incredibly positive, and even the RSI, you can't really see it here, but the RSI was like 90, 93 or something like here, okay? And then for the remainder of the year, it mostly fluctuated, at least the MACD did, when the MACD was about 0, and it went a little bit positive here, but it definitely fluctuated at a resistance level here. Sorry, a support level of like around $2.90. You can see like one here, another second one here, third one here, and it went down and actually broke down below the $2.90, but then it quickly went back up. And now we can see it's moving above the 50-day moving average right here with this big candlestick, and we can see a definitive upward swing in the MACD, which tends to signal a bullish note. So we'll see how long this runs for, and there might be a pullback. We can see the relative strength index is also pretty high up at 74, and generally when it crosses 80, that's a signal that the stock is overbought, and there will be a coming pullback. Okay, but again, indicators are one thing. We'll have to see what happens in the Q4 report, which is going to be coming out this week or next week. Okay, so why is it such a high increase in the stock price relative to Frontline and EURN? I mean, I think that it's because this is the stock that retail traders tend to flock to when they invest in oil tankers. So maybe there's been increasing news. Maybe Reddit group decided to pump up oil tankers for some reason, and they flocked to NAT. One guy actually posited that CNBC did a piece on how expensive shipping containers are getting for shipping cargo one way from China. The Reddit crowd probably thinks this is a cargo company. Okay, so pretty funny, but again, this is just a state of market madness and market insanity that's going on right now. Is that retail traders flock to any stock that they think others will pump up, and they'll just sell to the next biggest loser in the market. Okay, so that's all I have to say. I mean, if we're looking at the weekly tanker rates, and this is, of course, by Clarkson's Plateau Shipbroking. Again, there's no new story here. I've gone over this like a million times. Suezmax vessels was down this week, as was VLCC carriers, so it can't be because of a sudden increase in the crude carriers' spot prices. And so it's definitely not because of the increase in rates. Actually, we saw that floating storage is decreasing. It went from 6.1% to now it's 5.9%. So, again, at its lowest levels in the year. And yeah, there's just not much to show here. Again, you can look at tanker deliveries and new orders of tankers. But again, there's nothing really new being seen here. Okay, so I mean, I think a lot of people are looking longer term, and the stock market is forward looking. So maybe they're looking at this and saying, I think there's going to be a super cycle where demand increases and supply lags, and all of a sudden you'll need to transport all this oil around, and as a result, these oil tanker stocks are going to do really well. Okay, so that's one method, and that's one thing that many people are banking on, and why they're buying up shares of NAT, Frontline, and EuroNav. Okay, so if you did buy oil tanker stocks, let me know why you did down below in the comment section. As always, I appreciate a thumbs up and a subscription if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. It costs you nothing, but it provides me a tremendous amount of joy and satisfaction to reach out to you guys. If you want to follow, of course, my buys and sells, I generally post them on YouTube, but also if you want to follow real-time buys and sells, there's also a link below down to my Patreon below, and that also helps out the channel. But yeah, this is, my portfolio is looking pretty nice, aside from, of course, this one red guy, but, hopefully he feels my love as my Valentine's and he shoots up in the near future. But anyways, take care, have a great Sunday. I wish you all the best. Love you all, as always, and happy Valentine's Day.